Our culture has a bias towards seriousness, cynicism, coolness and distance. Very British, isn't it? Coolness, distance,
yes,
cynicism as well.
Yeah, and people understand it more than they do if someone comes into an office all bouncy and full of life. Really,
most suspicious.
People, be like, what is she taking, or what's with her, because she's happy or he's happy.
Even like being in America for the first time and going into a shop, the whole retail experience in America,
the whole service experience.
How are you today?
Yeah.
Have a great day. And you're like, go away, weirdo. You don't get that in Boots.
Don't get that. You really don't get that.
Don't get that in the queue at H&M, do you?
Next. And I'll tell you where you definitely don't get it is in Zara.
Oh, but that is a different vibe. They are too cool.
I don't know what goes on with their customer service and their customer training. But do they tell them all to be really abrasive and rude and fucked off?
Basically do work in Zara.
You just don't get paid.
Stock at all times.
You just don't get paid.
Yeah. Often people will come up to me in Zara and say, do you have this in a size 10? I'll be like, well, it's not actually over here. It's just actually at the front.
You do not.
I do.
I find Zara the most joyless place on earth. Can I just put that out there? The most joyless place on earth. Choosing joy is a matter of changing the lens by which our brain views the world. Just like any habit we develop in life, we can train our brain where to focus. By default, our brain looks for what is wrong, what might be a danger or any other negative emotion. And those negative emotions are useful at times, but they can be very damaging to our mental health and our perspective of the world around us. As we retrain our brain, we become deliberate about what we are thinking. This informs our focus, which then determines how we feel and then how we behave. Choosing joy can play an integral part on how we see the world, how we nurture our relationships, and how we respond generally in life itself. Joy is an intention, a conscious choice. So how do we choose?
I'd like to hear about your week, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So, well, you've heard about my everyday ones, and I really used them.
You really did.
I really did.
You did use them extra this week?
I got dressed a few more times than I normally would.
Okay.
Normally, I just will stick on gym gear, or we're in tracksuit bottoms a lot, aren't we? I was putting on dresses and full face of makeup. And
nice.
It was just making me happy and feeling a bit better. So I was using that. I was back at the gym. So that was fantastic because I hadn't been for a few weeks. I was blitzing my way through Below Deck. I watched a whole season on Sunday. I was just joyful.
Okay.
And then this happened.
I just bought myself a bunch of flowers, 2 bunches of flowers actually, because when I walked into the shop they were so beautiful, so Christmassy, and I thought, well, I'm celebrating joy this week, all week, so therefore they are going to make me smile and I'm going to get them. And it was so lovely. And you know how we said in the intro that joy is contagious? Well, when I took to go and pay for them to the checkout, the guy was like, these are very beautiful. I said, aren't they? They just make me smile. And he said, I'm so happy you're smiling and I really wish you a wonderful day. And just so you know, they're from me. I mean, they weren't actually from him, but he was so sweet, and I thought, there you go, that is an absolute sign that joy is contagious.
And obviously you are recording that in the middle of what sounds like a torrential rainstorm.
It was torrential.
Thursday. It must have been Thursday.
Must have been. It was dark by like 2:00 and it was pouring. But you can
listen to how happy you are.
Yeah, you can hear how happy I am.
Yeah.
And honestly, an £8 bunch of flowers made me so happy.
Yeah.
And it was... because I was feeling so chuffed with myself, I obviously exuded that. And then I had this lovely exchange with the cashier.
You spread the joy.
I spread the joy and he spread it back. It was really remarkable.
Lovely.
So that really proved to me that joy is completely contagious.
You want to hear about my week?
Yes.
Okay.
That is the point of the show.
Oh, yeah. So it is. A trivial yet very joyous moment of the week. Returning to the nail salon after 6 weeks of having naked nails and choosing the colour that brings me the most joy. Ready? So sparkly and Christmassy.
Gorgeous.
I mean, it wasn't a particularly miraculous special day, but it did bring me joy.
I really hope that's what we're going to highlight here today, is that it doesn't have to be huge and miraculous.
No,
and
you
it doesn't
have to
mean
go to Disney World.
Yeah, exactly. In order to find the joy, because I want people to find the joy wherever they are, however they are.
Now, I just wanted to tell you about another place that brings me joy.
Yes.
That I didn't actually get a chance to visit this week. I kind of wish I did.
To the garden centre.
I love the garden centre. No, it is the John Lewis Haberdashery Department. Now, it is a place.
Can I tell you something that might make your full bush twitch?
Yeah.
I can't believe I just said that.
Come on.
I can't believe I just said that.
Come on, say
Your
it.
full bush twitch.
Yes.
My dad listens to this show.
Hi, Tony.
My parents
Yes.
used to own a small chain of haberdashery stores.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I knew we were meant to meet, Nicole. Do they still have any? Not even one. They have one left.
And what we used to do
Yeah.
every night
Yeah. Yeah.
is my mum used to put a big box of zips
Yeah.
in the middle of the living room.
Yeah.
And one of us had a stapler.
Yeah.
And one of us would write what inches it was. One of
Yeah.
us had the tape measure.
You were home editing as a child. You were doing the home edit.
We were like labeling up all the zips. So one of us would measure the zips if it was 7-inch, and we would go 7-inch, and then the person with the label would write 7-inch, and then the next person would go over to the next person, then they'd staple the label onto the zip, and it was a whole production line. We used to do that a lot.
I mean, that is like
How's
a dream.
that?
That's like a dream childhood.
There were buttons.
Oh my
there
God.
was-
Did you get to sort the buttons into size and colour?
I don't remember the buttons, but you know what else?
Yeah.
Do you remember at school when we used to sew together the animals? And we used to stuff the animals and then used to sew them, and it came with a pattern.
Yeah, yes.
My mum supplied the schools. So I had endless supplies of these stuffed animals that I could sew.
God, you were a really lucky child.
How'd you feel about that?
Jealous as fuck.
So go on. The haberdashery department.
It is a place of deep comfort, deep joy. It is. It's.
What is it that's
it's
in there that brings you
staffed-
such comfort?
It's so peaceful. It's so quiet. It's staffed by elderly women who have just like this innate knowledge of knitting patterns. I do not knit. I do not sew. I do not crochet. I have no need for anything that they sell in there. But at times of despair,
I bet they love you as a customer. I bet you don't bring them as much joy as they bring you.
I'm telling you that at times of despair in my life, I have headed
Oh, it's actually a mode of self-care for you, this department.
seriously. And I honestly feel like if there was a nuclear holocaust, that is where I would go, because nothing bad can happen in the John Lewis Haberdashery Department. Fact.
Based on...
It's a fact.
Yes, but you're someone that likes to do their research. So I'm wondering if there's science to back that up.
I
It's
don't
just
know
a fact.
what it is. It's just a fact.
Don't unpick
okay?
it, Nicole.
If they press the nuclear button, head straight there, but don't tell anyone else because it's where I'm going.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll know where to find you.
Right. That's my week.